Growing up in a small town, it's often one of limited opportunity. There's a great sense of family and community there, but for myself and others, I wasn't sure that I was bound for big success. My parents, who knew of Senator Mitchell and who he was as a man and what he stood for, upon their encouragement, I applied for the scholarship and was selected in 2008. As I got further along in my education and continued to expand my horizons, recognized that there was a lot of work that could be done by people from these small towns.
One thing that I always struggled with in high school was that I never felt like I fit in, just given that my family was so poor. My experience with the Mitchell Institute has, in some ways, it made me feel less alone. Hearing the stories of the other scholars, many of whom, in some ways, have had much tougher experiences than I had, I think is very much responsible for setting me on the right path.
So there were three things that they were looking for. They were looking at financial need, academic promise, and then community service. So I thought, I've got all those things going for me. And so I applied, and it was, like the best thing I could have done, because I have still been reaping the benefits of it.
At its core, right, our mission is for young people in the state of Maine to pursue a college education. I think beyond that, it really is a family of not only scholars and alumni, but of community members and others who are interested and invested in the future success of our state.
With the scholarship, it's allowing people all across the state to pursue their education. And now we see there's Mitchell Scholars in all avenues of work in this state, whether it's advocacy and healthcare, in government, giving back to this community.
By nature of the scholarships, one per high school, it made a lot of sense to us because it had a focus on more rural areas, the less privileged areas, the areas that kind of were in more need in so many ways.
It's not just the scholarship, it's that this organization follows these young people and supports them through 4 years and then beyond. And, the infrastructure that allows them to be lifted up, to know the opportunities that are going to be available to them in the world, and to put them on a path. And I think that's what, the Mitchell Institute does with the scholarship, but it's also the incredible staff and support that all these young people get.
It's a scholarship that wants to give an opportunity to students who may not be at the very top of their class, but who have worked very hard to overcome challenges, who may be supporting their families, who may be working, every hour after school. The desire that exists among so many young Mainers to succeed even when the odds are against them, and the hard work that they're willing to put in to achieve their goals, whatever they might be. It totally captures your engagement, your sympathy, your empathy with the students, and your pride in the work of the Mitchell Institute.
Not only giving time and sharing my experiences with scholars and alum to help them in their journey, have been a donor as well. I feel just such a deep appreciation that I want to make sure that other students can feel that same level of support and get that guidance, because it's really hard. And I think just knowing that you've got people in your corner, someone who can provide some advice and maybe open a door, is incredibly powerful.
I think the first barrier that pops into my mind is just the massive financial barrier that there is to getting into college. You're more likely to succeed in college when you're not worried about whether or not you're going to have to drop out next semester because you can't afford it.
Being a new American and having to navigate my culture with the schooling system and the Western culture has always been a struggle.
I was moving into a new country and I was like, how am I going to be able to get into med school to begin with?
I found out about the Mitchell Institute through my guidance counselor at my high school.
My mom worked with someone whose son was a Mitchell Scholar, and so she was like, you should apply for this. We were all in the gymnasium.
He said my name and I was like, no, that can't be right.
Looked at the envelope, was me, and then Mitchell Scholarship, and I was like, oh my God.
Holy moly.
The biggest surprise in the world, and I had absolutely no idea.
And ever since then, my life hasn't been the same. It's kind of like having a second family.
It's more than just a scholarship. It's really just like a giant family. There's a financial benefit, but there's also professional development. There's also just a giant network of people that are always willing to help.
Having someone helping you achieve your dreams, supporting you, believing in you, it's really beneficial. Having the Mitchell Scholarship, going out there and then giving chances to people like myself, it's really huge.
I think that the Mitchell Institute has some crazy way of finding good people, and I think that their programs just kind of really solidify good actions and good characteristics. Solidifying good characteristics and good values and good morals will help local communities, will help everything in the world.
Senator Mitchell just say that not everybody should be guaranteed success, but everybody should have the opportunity for success. That if someone is having a hard time and they're wanting to pursue higher education, they absolutely should be applying for this scholarship.
It is a diverse group of kids who become scholars and then alum. So I think Maine's future ultimately should be in pretty good hands.
It's a breath of fresh air being able to talk to somebody who could present me the resources that I don't necessarily have and say, here's everything you need. Now go and be the person that we know you can be.
The fact that the Mitchell Institute's been doing it for 25 years just shows that they're really committed to helping Maine students succeed, and just being able to know that I'm a part of that, it's a great feeling.
I think about my own experience and what the program has done for me, not only financially, but professionally and personally. And I feel very proud to be part of Senator George Mitchell's legacy.
Everybody needs that support network and those people who can really push you to get outside your comfort zone and become someone that you never thought you could be.
I'm proud to be helping them, and they make me humble.
I only think of the world of it and want to do everything I can to help further its mission, because it has been such a huge impact on my own life. And I would dare to think what kind of journey I would have had if I hadn't become a Mitchell Scholar. So.